Okay, take two. Take two, part two. Part two of reading Corposant 1.5 story. Should be exactly where I left off. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 left. Right, Commander, the enemy has been driven out of the research facility. 404 is engaging the remaining hostile forces near the site. Monsoon Squad is on the way to provide support. Connect me to 404. Understood. Kalukai, what's the situation? We're still exchanging fire with them. They're armed to the teeth, but we can't identify their affiliation. They're deliberately concealing their identities. Do we need to change the rules of engagement? No. Eliminate them as the top priority and gather as much information as possible. Understood. We're heavily outnumbered, but if their target is that young lady and they split their forces, we may not be able to intercept them all. We'll take the young lady to a safe location first. Once we have her under control, you can move towards my position. Roger that. Wait for your signal, Commander. I cut the connection and turned to Groza and Kulfny. Let 404 buy us some time first. Kulfny, what's the situation around us? It looks like everyone inside the facility is let outside. This place really doesn't have a single armed guard. Maintenance control the area. People from the drawer group PSA should arrive soon. Until then, we need to keep Orphelion safe. Can you locate that young lady? I saw her run up to the experimental area on the top floor just now. She's there. I see. Let's move. Avoiding stray rounds from the firefight between the unknown forces and Squad 404, we rush to the rooftop. We smash through the glass doors of the experimental complex and force our way inside. In the isolation chamber where Orphelion was demonstrating an experiment for me not long ago, a figure sits there blankly, knees hugged to her chest. Groza and Kulfny check the surroundings. No armed personnel are in sight. I stow my weapon inside my clothes and stride quickly towards that figure. Miss Orphelion. Why are you here? I was about to get in the car and leave when I saw black smoke rising from this direction, so I rushed out over with everyone. You're just a journalist. Don't play the hero. Her tone is harsh, but the panic and tears in Orphelion's eyes betray her true emotions. I hurry over to assess her condition. Though she's trembling all over, she doesn't appear to have any external injuries. Judging by her breathing, her internal organs likely weren't damaged by the explosion earlier. I extend my hand to Orphelion. After hesitating for a moment, she finally takes it and stands up. Well, where are the people who attacked the facility? They've been repelled for now. Repelled? But there aren't even any armed guards here. We found a way to drive them back. You did. In any case, this place is extremely dangerous. We don't know who the attackers will strike again. We need to leave immediately. Don't be ridiculous. As the heiress of the drawer group, how could I be frightened off by a bunch of small-time thugs? Besides, these research data are absolutely priceless. As if I could let them be destroyed. Despite her tough words, Orphelion almost drops the haphazard pile of data pads and test tubes in her arms. She bites her lip, trying to shoulder everything on her own. Now isn't the time to worry about that. Plants can be cultivated again if they're destroyed. But if something happens to you, everything really is over. As if something could happen to me, Her voice suddenly trails off, as if she's talking to herself. But without this research, I don't even know what else I can do. It's too early to say that. You're only in your 20s. You still have a long life ahead of you. Don't you remember? You survived what happened in Frankfurt. Compared to that, this is nothing. Orphelion's eyes flicker slightly, as though a memory has been stirred. You're right. But don't get the wrong idea. I'm only agreeing to temporarily relocating the research. Tomorrow's demonstration will absolutely not be cancelled. Then come with me. I signal for Kolfni to take hold of Orphelion, but this time, Orphelion obediently follows as Kolfni starts moving. But just as we reach the doorway, intense gunfire erupts from below. Shots and explosions coming one after another. Commander, the enemy has begun a full assault on the research facility. Be careful not to get caught in it. Thanks for the warning. Hold them off. We're escorting the young lady out of the lab. Roger, stay safe. The firefight downstairs intensifies further, and several rifle grenades come flying toward the rooftop. Get down! I shield Orphelion as we dive toward the doorway. One of the grenades hits the isolation chamber directly. The glass shatters, fragments hurtling towards us under the force of the blast. It hurts. Orphelion cries out, her face strained as she tries not to show too much pain. I look down and realize a shard of glass has lodged itself squarely in her leg. Kolfni. Kolfni picks up a pair of lab forceps and carefully pulls out the glass shard. Then she rinses the wound with distilled water and applies an adhesive bandage meant for emergency treatment. Bear with it for now. Once we reach a safe place, you'll be fine. Tis but a scratch. Doesn't bother me at all. Tis but a flesh wound. Sorry, scientist girl. Even as she says this, a small sob escapes Orphelion. She bites her lip hard, as if ashamed of her own weakness. Oh, my alarm goes off. I don't work today, do I? No, I don't. We're good. That's for tomorrow. Is there anywhere easily defendable in this building? The main entrance is swarming with attackers. It's too dangerous to go out that way. Below this building, there's an air raid shelter for emergencies. Take us there now. We proceed with extreme caution toward the air raid shelter while being targeted by successive explosions and attacks. Are you alright? Can you walk on your leg? I'm fine. Orphelion endures the pain along the way, still trying to maintain her pride. I've been through worse in Frankfurt, like you said earlier. Back then, Igla hadn't been created yet, so no one could help me. It was just my father. Orphelion's voice suddenly wavers with both nostalgia and unease. Igla still hasn't come back? How could she not be by my side at a time like this? Orphelion rarely shows such helplessness, but she quickly straightens her back again. Not that I need her to protect me all the time. I'm the heiress of the Gerard Group. I can protect myself. I look at her face, not quite sure how to feel. Yes, I'm sure you can, Mr. Orphelion. After passing through long corridors and descending flight after flight of stairs, we finally reach the air raid shelter entrance that Orphelion mentioned. During the journey, whenever her injury leg is jostled, Orphelion would grimace from the pain, only to quickly force herself to straighten up each time. She then fumbles awkwardly for quite a while before finding and pressing a button, opening the door at the entrance. The blast door, made of half-meter thick, homogeneous steel, slowly swings open. Supporting Orphelion, we help her inside. As the heavy door closes, I issue orders to Group 2. We've entered an underground shelter in the rear courtyard. Secure the surrounding area and don't let the enemy get close. Roger. On it right away. I assume this is technically supposed to be the corridor for Klukai and them, or is it us running away? I guess it was us running away. We're in the building still. Because Klukai and them were outside on the perimeter. Commander, the enemy is beginning to withdraw, so they've finally given up. It doesn't quite look like it. Wait. Monsoon reports that the third gen doll who left earlier has returned. Igla here to just clean everybody up. Igla, she sure reacts quickly. Her vehicle is 3 minutes out. She'll intersect our team's position. Commander, how should we proceed? Withdraw from the research facility. Do not engage. But her target is the young lady. She'll run into you, Commander. We'll be fine. Maintain a safe distance, observe the air raid shelter where we are. Igla isn't someone we can handle right now. Don't engage her unless absolutely no other option. Understood. We'll remain on the perimeter and be ready to provide support at any time. Thank you. Over. The attackers seem to be withdrawing because they've also received news of Igla's return. Something's fishy about the Guerrero group having such up-to-date information about the situation within the research facility. There are emergency medical kits inside the shelter. Coultney takes one and redresses Wolfine's wounds. Orphelia nods in thanks to Kulfi, but she's still trembling. She's clearly worried that the enemy will make their way here. I step forward to reassure her. Don't worry, the attack is over. Why are you carrying weapons? Aren't you journalists? Journalism is a high-risk profession in this day and age. Knowing how to shoot for self-defense isn't that strange, is it? Is that so? She's just half believing. Yep, it is. By the way, Miss Felian, has this research facility ever been attacked before? No, not even once. This place has always been very safe. Its secret's still extremely high. Not even the drug group's own security forces are allowed to approach the facility. No armed security at all? Don't you find that strange? Not really. The view is so safe. What would we need the guards for in the first place? So this attack was likely triggered by recent events. Is the goal to destroy the research, or are they coming after the young lady? If the young lady's a key figure in Project Eden, there is certainly no shortage of forces who'd want her gone. Commander, we've completed our withdrawal. Igla has entered the research facility. You must be careful. Got it. Are you really journalists? From how you acted just now, you... A sudden deafening crash interrupts Ophelia in mid-sentence. Kaboom! It just broke that metal wall. The shelter security door is blasted open with a massive hole. The tremendous impact twists and warps the heavy steel door. As the dust settles, Igla's figure appears in the doorway. The scabbard of the slender rapier at her waist gleams with subdued silver light. Mirrored by the silver and gold pistol in her hand, her posture is immaculate. Not that of a doll who blasted through a steel door, but of an aristocrat stepping into an opera house. Igla raises her gun, aiming it directly at my head. Step by step, she slowly walks towards me. Pardon me for rudely interrupting your conversation. If there's any discourtesy, I ask for your understanding. I humbly request that you all immediately step away from the young mistress. If your hesitation causes Miss Delphine even one additional sense of discomfort, I fear you'll have to resort to methods that are a bit less polite. Igla's voice is glacially cold. At my signal, Groza and Kulfni do not draw their weapons. I lock eyes with Igla, refusing to bend to her will. Igla! You finally made it! Orphelian's eyes glisten with joy, the composure she'd forced upon herself completely crumbling. Igla steps forward. The sound of her heels is clear and crystalline. She bows slightly, left hand to her chest in a flawless gesture of courtesy. My apologies for being tardy, young mistress. You're injured? How did this happen? For the first time, Igla's voice wavers ever so slightly, though her near-perfect composure doesn't change. Guilt flashes across her face in an instant, swiftly replaced by resolute restraint. She drops to one knee, right hand to her chest, performing an impeccable oath of loyalty. Seeing you injured is the greatest disgrace to my service as your assistant. It is an unforgivable failure on my part that I was not by your side and needed me. Please, punish me. It's nothing. I was just cut by some glass. As a member of the Gerard group, this kind of injury is nothing at all. Your strength moves me, young mistress. Once I deal with these uninvited guests, I will take you to the finest hospital and ensure no scarring occurs. Igla rises from the floor in one fluid movement. Her gaze settles on us again with such icy murderous intent it sends a chill down my spine. If you were sent here by Chef Fabin, Perhaps we conduct a more civilized negotiation? Gerard is willing to offer 10 times your current compensation, in exchange for your promise never to set foot in Lviv again. That sum should be enough for all of you to live as upper-class citizens in any white zone. What do you say? You misunderstood, Igla. Actually, they came back to save me. Young mistress, please allow me to handle these trivial matters. This is my duty. Igla's tone remains gentle and courteous. It carries an unmistakable finality. You should always remain pure and noble of heart, just as you were on the day you found me before the furnace. That's an interesting backstory. Let me discern and eradicate the lies of these filthy individuals. Well, on what conditions would you release the young mistress? Name your terms. She has such the wrong impression. We're not the captures or the ones causing these problems, guys. Or must you force me to tear you apart in front of Miss Orphelion? Ooh, listen to that one more time. I wonder if the direct translation is that is. It's got to be a little different than what it says here. I feel like the order of the sentence is just slightly different. You really should listen carefully to what Orphelion is trying to tell you. Even if you don't trust me, at least calm down and analyze the situation in front of you. If I were in cahoots with the attackers outside, I could have just taken Orphelion and left. Correct? No? Why would we stay in this shelter? Perhaps your purpose was to play the savior and to see the young mistress into trusting you. Do you deny that? What would even be the point of that? They protected me the entire time during the attack. Besides, I'm a good judge of character. Someone I personally choose to interview me couldn't possibly be a bad person. We are lying to you, but we're not bad people. You are correct. Orphelion lifts her chin proudly, though the tension in the air makes her unconsciously clutch the hem of her clothes. Very well. Since Miss Orphelion trusts you, I will grant you an opportunity to explain yourselves. May I ask this editor-in-chief to explain why your entourage consists of armed tactical dolls? And there are also some sneaky rats lurking around the perimeter, spying on this place. I assume those are your subordinates as well. She actually noticed Group 2 monitoring the perimeter. As expected, she's not an easy opponent to deal with. If you're not lacking Senpai Chip Fabin, then you must be dogs of the Non-Military Force Administration or some other URNC organization. Unfortunately, you're wrong on all accounts. I'm a freelance mercenary. Then may I ask your affiliation? I'm not an affiliate with any faction, but I do have my own agenda. Young mistress, you heard it yourself. This man has ulterior motives. May I deal with them now? But one reason I came here is because I heard Miss Orphelion might be at risk of attack. That's why I brought T-Dolls with me. And thanks to them, we were able to repel the first wave of attackers and ensure Miss Orphelion's safety. Surely you can tell the difference between the attacking forces and us, can't you? You came here specifically to protect me? Igla frowns, though she wants nothing more than to kill us immediately. There's no change in Orphelion's mind about this. Orphelion raises a hand, signaling Igla to stay her hand. As her attendant, Igla cannot disobey her order. And the other reason I came here was to ask Miss Orphelion a burning question. A burning question? I ignore the rapier pointed at me and ask Orphelion in an unmistakably firm voice. Miss Orphelion, I'm afraid there's more to your Project Eden than meets the eye. I don't know what you mean. I've already shown you everything about Project Eden during the demonstration earlier. You said your research had received technical assistance from another scientist. Didn't you? Could you tell me honestly, who exactly was this other scientist? Igla's posture shifts subtly, a sharp edge flashing in her eyes. She steps forward half a pace, the sound of her heels echoing clearly in the shelter. Allow me to issue a final warning, Mr. Editor-in-Chief. Miss Orphelion has no obligation to answer such questions. The only reason I have acted against you is because I don't wish this young mister with something cruel. Do not make my tolerance for leverage. Completely unlike her earlier unflappable demeanor, I see unmistakable anger in Igla for the first time. I must have hit a nerve. Commander, we have a bead on the 3rd gen doll's head. One slight tilt to your head and we'll fire immediately. Click-Eye's voice comes through my earpiece. I remain outwardly calm and decide to press on. But before I can speak, Ophelia begins on her own. It's fine, Igla. There's nothing to hide. I've already told some of them earlier. The person who assists my research is also an expert in plant scientists. Her earlier work focused on genetic engineering. She only shifted into botany about 10 years ago. Yes, I'm talking about Chilveg, the good friend that I mentioned before. You should be able to find her profile on various academic sites. To be honest, I met you under very similar circumstances when I first met her. At the time, I had hit a bottleneck in my research. I tried countless methods but couldn't break through. Though I hate to admit it, I was stuck. And then she appeared at just the right moment. Not only did she help me overcome the technical obstacles, she even proposed more innovative solutions. She fully agreed with my philosophy that plants could lead humanity towards a better future. Yeah, her vision of that future is very different though. She's the one who helped me resolve the practical applications of the particle transform carrier, those flowers. I'm very grateful to her. She's one of the few people who didn't treat me as Ophelia suddenly stops, unwilling to continue, as the Draugur's daughter is the sentence, I'm assuming. In short, Chilveg helped me a great deal back then. There, I told you everything I've known. Ophelia turns away from me. Her shoulders are trembling slightly, and her voice has lost its earlier edge. Now it's your turn to answer my questions. Her voice quivers. When you came to interview me, were you really only interested in my research? Yes. But you're not really an editor-in-chief, are you? That's right. I'm not an editor-in-chief. But I am interested in your research. Though only because the subject of your research is connected to a cult. This Chilveg you mentioned is very likely a member of said cult. A cult? Heredius. Have you heard of that name? Ophelia looks bemused. She glances at Igla, then slowly shakes her head. Based on what I know, the assistance you received came most likely from Heredius. Heredius? That famous organization in Germany from years ago? It's a long-standing cult that has used tens of thousands of people as test subjects in contamination zones, all to satisfy its ambitions. They were supposed to have been eradicated, but now they're resurfacing. Which means the so-called scientific assistance you accepted was very likely the result of human experimentation. Impossible. That's nonsense. Those epitheliums? Your so-called particle carriers were never naturally occurring plants. They were deliberately cultivated and designed to spread collapsed particles in contamination zones, decaying, destroying, mutating living environments to the people there. Who could do such a thing? Where do those plants come from? Do you truly know nothing at all about them? I didn't... Ophelia stares at me with wide eyes, then looks away. As the heiress to the Drawer group, it's impossible for her to be completely uninformed. She tries to deny it, but her nature won't allow her to lie. Have you said enough? Before Miss Ophelia's lunchtime begins, I must remove anything that could affect her appetite. That's an interesting sentence. Igla points her gun at me. Miss Editor-in-Chief, let's start with you. Wait! Ophelia struggles to her feet, raises her arms and steps between me and Igla. Young mistress, please step back. Panic seeps through Igla's voice for the first time, though her grip on the gun remains steady. Listen to me, Igla. You've always protected me, made decisions for me, solved all my problems. But this time, I have to face it myself. I must face it all myself, the truth. If I don't even have the courage to face this, what right do I have to claim that I want to change the world? There's no trace of forced arrogance in Orphelian's voice now, only a mix of determination and vulnerability. Igla's hand trembles slightly, and she slowly lowers her gun. Once more. Orphelian turns back to look at me. You said Chilveg might belong to a cult. Human experimentation is definitely wrong. But what I felt from her was genuine passion and sincerity towards botany. Even if she's really is a bad person, the knowledge she brought has undeniably advanced my research in a substantial way. But that knowledge is built on the suffering of countless innocent people. No, you don't understand what I mean. Even if what you say is true, as long as Project Eden is successfully launched, if everything I envision comes to pass, it will bring immeasurable benefits to the entire world. Those plagued by radiation sickness, those struggling to survive in the yellow zones, all of them will be redeemed. Knowledge itself isn't evil, even if it originates from mistakes. I can guide it on the right path. Is that wrong? You saw my demonstrations earlier, didn't you? Energy converted from radiation can massively boost productivity, improve quality of life, and free countless people from meaningless repetitive labor. I have something to say on this at the end, actually. Then everyone can devote themselves to creative and productive work. If we're on the brink of such a world, can you really dismiss my research as evil so lightly? Science itself has no stance. Whether the result is good or bad depends solely on how people use it. Partially. Can you be certain your research will be used that way, though? Scientists may have no stance, but those who wield it do. When you can't control the power science brings it, its stance will no longer bend to your will. And a path built on the wrong foundation can never lead to a right destination. That's something I've experienced personally. You lived through Frankfurt as well. You should understand better than anyone what really happened. A path built on the wrong foundation can never lead to a right destination. Once collapsed particles are gathered by those collapsed affiliates, can you truly control how they'll be used? Your Project Eden will be harvesting an immense quantity of particles. Will you have full control over what they will be used for? What do you mean by that? At the site of an incident I encountered, we found large numbers of victims sealed in culture tubes. It was an illegal underground laboratory. The victims were packed into containers like livestock. And inside those containers were plants very similar to those in your research. They were cultivated into elids, even bujums, without high-density particle radiation that simply couldn't be achieved in such a short time. With technology that gathers glass particles in high concentration, not only elids, perhaps even bujums could be mass-produced. Given how well you understand your own research, you must know how catastrophic it would be if the massive stockpile of glass particles from the project were misused. Do you really think that would still be right? I had no idea. Igla, have you heard of this? Orphelian's voice trembles, her arms hang limply at her sides. She no longer tries to hide her confusion and fear behind a proud facade. Young mistress. Be honest. Give me the truth. A similar incident did occur recently on the outskirts of a satellite city. Since it fell under the jurisdiction of the Gerard Group, I conducted a brief investigation. Later, the matter was passed over to the non-military forces administration, so I don't know the details beyond that. In other words, this editor-in-chief was telling the truth? All I can say is that a similar event has occurred, but there's no proven connection to your research, nor is there any evidence linking it to Lady Chilveg. I see. Orphelian clenches her fists, not daring to look at me. She turns and issues an order to Igla. Igla, I'm ordering you to investigate this matter immediately and thoroughly. I'll never forgive anyone who dares to abuse my research in such a way. Immediately? Yes. This knowledge is meant for a better future. Past mistakes can be corrected. But, what about them? Let them go. Miss Ophelia, we absolutely cannot let them go. Why not? You were just offering them money to keep them from ever setting foot in Lviv again. The situation is different now. If we let them go and they expose the fact that you accepted external scientific research, your research will be ruined. Your name dragged through the dirt. Are you truly willing to accept that outcome? Ophelia turns back, gathering your courage to face me again. If your goal is to make this public, then be my guest. I believe in my research. Regardless of its origins, as something meant for the future of this world. I stand by my view. Science itself has no stance. Whether the result is good or bad depends on how people use it. I believe I have the power to ensure my research is used on the right path. Project Eden will officially begin tomorrow. When you witness the beginning of the experiment tomorrow, I hope you'll change your mind. Man, I hope they don't just destroy the city, like in Corposant Part 2. The real Part 2? Like, oh man, that'd be bad. She reaches out and forces Igla, who had pointed a gun at me again while speaking, to lower her weapon. Ophelia, now fragile yet resolute, is no longer the haughty young mistress. Let them go. After all, they just saved me, and I don't want to owe them a debt. Igla looks at Ophelia, the complex emotions flickering in her eyes. Finally, she nods. As you wish, Miss Ophelia. Ophelia leaves the shelter with Igla. The research facility is now teeming with members of the Gerard Group and the PSA. The duo board a luxurious sedan and gradually disappear into the distance, while far behind them, a team of dolls silently approaches. Slumbering lion, when she awakes, all vileness and wickedness shall be destroyed. After the aftermath of the research facility is dealt with, Igla calmly steps into the laboratory where Alva's confined. Her footsteps strike the marble floor with precise, rhythmic clicks, each step carrying an undeniable authority, yet landing with the lightness of a ballet dancer's pointee. Aloha! Welcome back, Miss Igla. Chilvig is still wearing nothing but a loose white lab coat. She sits barefoot on a swivel chair and spinning happily, a cup of coffee in her hands nearly drowned in syrup. Her smile is dazzling to the point of being unnatural, while cunning and madness glint in her eyes. She lazily swings her legs, the faint curves of her body beneath the lab coat forming a stark contrast with the laboratory's solemn atmosphere. Please forgive my discourtesy, Lady Chilvig. Igla inclines her head slightly, then suddenly lashes out with a kick, sending a marionette doll nearby flying straight into the wall with brutal speed. The metal wall cracks open on impact, leaving a human-shaped dent. The marionette doll, dressed as a researcher, sticks to the wall as if glued there, limbs hanging limp, like a mosquito slapped flat. The laboratory walls let out a groan under the strain. Good heavens, you brute! Chilvig jumps to her feet, dramatically cupping her cheeks. Ha! Her eyes widen with excitement as she hops over to the deformed marionette doll, tilting her head to admire the artwork. I much prefer this way of expressing your anger. Way more creative than shooting me in the head like last time. Allow me to be frank, Lady Chilvig. Igla calmly smooths her sleeves, her voice is velvet soft, but her gaze is glacial. I believe I have made my position very clear on multiple occasions, and this will be the final time I reiterate it. Our cooperation is strictly between you and me. Miss Ophelia is not to be included. Oh, now that's interesting. Chilvig clasps her hands behind her back and circles Igla like a curious little girl, thinking aloud with exaggerated flair. Why bring up Miss Ophelia all of a sudden? Is it because my interactions with her made you jealous? Or do you think I gave our dear little young mistress something I shouldn't have? She was never your young mistress. Naturally. But she's not yours either. I suppose I have been having some private exchange with Mr. Feely lately. After all, the young mistress needs someone to tutor her studies. And I'm just like you, you know. She's such an adorable young lady, I just can't help but get a little attached to her now that I've spent some time with her. What exactly are you talking about? I'm saying I'm doing the same thing as you. Helping Miss Orphelion. But really, blame that old man. It's all because that fossil Willick actually wants to bow to the Nomfagoon called Kruger. In plain terms, that senior old file wants to sell out the Gerard Group to the URNC government. But we, or rather Paradius, have always wholeheartedly collaborated with Gerard Group to help the young mistress advance her research. And while we're at it, make the Gerard Group great again. If everything proceeds according to Lord Illig's arrangements, Gerard cooperation with you will come to an end. Not only that, that damn filthy bald geezer. He'd sell us out in a heartbeat just to save his own skin. That's a no-brainer. She suddenly stops and hops onto the lab workbench, her legs swing cheerfully in the air. That's why I came to you, Miss Igla. You're not like him. You're smart. My hope is that you can stand against the pressure from Nomfa in his stead and protect the Gerard Group, as well as our collaboration with Miss Orphelion. Miss Orphelion's Project Eden as officially begins tomorrow, doesn't it? She has devoted 10 years of her life to this research project. You wouldn't want to see it destroyed like this, would you? Igla makes no response. She walks forward slowly. She stops in front of Jilvig, inclines slightly, and gently places one hand on the surface of the workbench. The moment her hand makes contact, the surface lets out a faint groan, then collapses. The entire workbench splits apart as if ripped by an invisible force. Documents, instruments, and coffee cups spilling onto the floor in a chaotic avalanche. Yet Igla herself remains utterly still, without so much as a wrinkle on her clothes. And the only reason I agreed to that foolish, presumptuous, and unreasonable request was to protect Miss Orphelion. If anyone dares to harm her, be it Lord Orlig or you, it makes no difference to me. Oh, come on. Use your brain. My sweet darling Igla. Jilvig nimbly hops off the shuttered workbench, clasping her hands together as a manic grin spreads across her face. How could I ever hurt her? Wasn't it me who helped you attain the agreement Oleg signed with Nomfa? Jilvig leans close to Igla, her lips almost brushing against Igla's ear. That old man is willing to confess to all those crimes in exchange for his own personal safety. Your precious young mistress is not even on his list. Igla tilts her head slightly and stares at Jilvig without expression. What? In the next instant, with a movement too fast to see, she grips Jilvig by the throat and lifts her into the air. Hey, it's a repeat. I hardly need reminding of this. Igla's voice is ice cold. Her usual air of elegance has vanished entirely by now. Even if the young mistress were on the list, I would never allow such stupidity as to entrust her very life to another. You're right. That's exactly it. Jilvig smacks Igla's wrist in surrender. When Igla releases her, she drops to the floor. That's why we have to complete Project Eden together. It's Gerard's only chance to turn things around. I told you that already, didn't I? And your precious Miss Orphelion truly is a genius scientist. Brilliant, diligent, full of ideals, and absolutely adorable. That's precisely why she's an indispensable part of Project Eden. Even if you killed me 100 times, that fact won't change. And more importantly, this was her research to begin with. So once the project becomes our core objective, she naturally has to take part in it. So for your sake, and for the sake of our plan, of course I wouldn't hurt her. On that point, I have no objection. Completing Project Eden is the young mistress's long-cherished wish. However, Mr. Felion is a noble scientist in pursuit of a pure and lofty ideal, not a pawn of your so-called game. Perhaps swayed by Chilvig's words, Higla's hostility eases slightly, but when it comes to Orphelion, she yields not an inch. Chilvig rubs her throat, rising on her knees. She peers at Igla with an ominous gleam in her eyes. Hi, yes. The young mistress is nothing like me. She's a good little girl. But on that note, there's something I wonder if you've ever considered. My dear Igla, once Project Eden is complete, Gerard will reach new heights, and her talents will gain worldwide recognition. And then those little secrets hidden within her will become extraordinarily valuable. Igla's gaze turns icy once more at those words. Her posture remains flawless, only the tension in her jaw betrays the slightest ripple of emotion. Pardon me for being blunt, but your insinuation is both vague and impolite. If you have a point to make, you could perhaps state it more clearly. I'm just telling it as it is. Truth is like candy. The prettier the wrapping, the sweeter it tastes. Chilvig prances right up to Igla, looking up at this most powerful third-gen doll with a smile both innocent and dangerous. Walls will always have cracks, Miss Igla. What Paradius knows, others will eventually know too. There are no true secrets in this world, only truths that haven't been spoken yet. Should I take that as a threat, Lady Chilvig? Igla's voice remains courteous, but her tone is still chilling. Even the air in the laboratory seems to freeze under her words. A threat? No. That's far too crude. Chilvig waves her hands exaggeratedly, then suddenly grows somber. Presses a finger lightly to her lips, her eyes flashing sharply. I'm merely offering a friendly reminder. This matter is of no consequence to me. All I want is Project Eden to be completed successfully. You get to revive our group, and Mr. Felion fulfills her lifelong ambition. Well, she might be a bit young to be talking about lifelong ambitions. Cherish wish then. Sounds like a perfect happy ending. As long as we don't consider the risks that may follow afterwards. Igla takes a slow, deep breath. What is your solution, and what do you want? First, Project Eden must be completed. That's the premise of everything. Stopping the plan to protect her would be the stupidest case of putting the cart before the horse. But avoiding risks is easy. Just don't put her under the spotlight. If you could retrieve 043 and hand her over to me as soon as possible, then perhaps I can complete Project Eden independently? 043 is what, Foymastina? She flashes a radiant smile again, a shrewd glint dancing in her eyes. That way, whether Princess Orphelion stays or leaves would be entirely up to you, Miss Igla. Speaking as a fellow scientist, it may be a bit unfair to her, but... She shrugs dramatically and spreads her hands. I value my partner's feelings more. And what do you gain from this? From what I could tell, fame's beneath you. You're immortal. Your friendship is the sweetest candy of all for me, Miss Igla. Besides, secrets only become resources when they're held by a select few. Chilvig winks playfully. But of course, everything depends on how good you are at catching mice. She sends the ball back to Igla's court and looks at her expectantly, waiting for an answer. Igla's gaze flickers. In the end, she says nothing. Her eyes turn towards Alva inside the specializing hibernation capsule. Through the observation window, Alva can be seen writhing in agony within a hallucination. Igla knows Chilvig is right, no matter what. Capturing Voy Messina, retrieving O-43, and completing the mission she was given from the start remains her top... Oh yeah, O-43 is Helena. As for Chilvig, there will be a time to settle the score later. The hibernation capsule's indicators flash incessantly, alarms echoing at Alva's neural data register extreme instability. If not for Task Force Defies interference, this wouldn't have become so complicated. Igla gently rests her hands on the capsule's control panel and connects her own port to it. A moment later, she turns back to Chilvig and inclines her head slightly. I will retrieve O-43. Please honor your promise. This is my only request. You gave me your word. Inside the capsule, Alva's body convulses violently as if enduring unimaginable pain. Pain that intensifies further due to the Igla's connection. Igla smooths the hem of her suit and walks towards the exit, her footsteps still calm and measured. Oh, my. Chilvig watches Igla's receding back, then turns to Alva writhing in the capsule, her expression peculiar. This really isn't my fault, darling. I was planning to treat you gently. What a shame, what a shame. Chunkasi. She sighs, then beams brightly again. Hopping back to her seat, she picks up a fresh cup of coffee and gazes at the hibernation capsule as though watching a performance. Since your fate is sealed, you might as well contribute a bit more data before you die, my dear. I am insane. Alva jolts awake. Gasping for air, her body shakes violently, like a drowning person finally breaking the surface. Sweat soaks through her clothes, clinging coldly to her skin, making her shiver. She looks down and stares blankly at her drenched clothing in disbelief. Something feels wrong, unmistakably wrong. Yet she can't quite put a finger on what. She places a hand against her soaked chest, feeling her heart hammering violently, as if about to burst free from her ribcage. It's still pounding, echoing in her ears. Sweat? A heartbeat? She looks around in a daze and realizes she's sitting upright inside a train. The train is moving at high speed. Through the window she can see it crossing a desert. Yellow sand stretches endlessly in every direction. Fierce winds howl, whipping sand into the air, blotting out the sky and turning the distant landscape into a hazy blur. The blazing sun scorches the earth, filling the air with dry heat, as if trying to bake everything alive. The ground is cracked and barren, with not a blade of grass in sight. A hopeless desolation. Fissures crisscrossing the land like scars, speaking of utter death. This scene is painfully familiar to her. She's wandered aimlessly through a world like this for a full 10 years. Countless battles, countless clashes, all gradually forgotten in this contamination zone. You had a nightmare. Voy Messina's voice sounds beside her, breaking the howling silence. It's soft and calm, devoid of emotional fluctuation, almost like an inorganic synthesized electronic tone. Yeah. Voy Messina is seated opposite her, cradling a massive anti-material sniper rifle. Even though the weapon's surface is rough and worn, it still reflects a harsh, piercing cold light. Alva remembers that back when Voy Messina first realized her specs no longer gave her an overwhelming advantage over everything, she sought many alternatives, this rifle being one of them. Even so, in this desperate world, even holding such a weapon, Voy Messina's towering figure still looks so small compared to the desert outside. Insignificant, lonely, forlorn, as if forgotten by the world. Alva's lips are cracked. She opens her mouth and is startled by how hoarse her voice feels. She lifts a hand to her head and lets out a quiet sigh, trying to massage her temples to ease the stabbing pain. Only then does she notice her fingers trembling slightly, her palms slick with sweat. The sticky and stifling sensations is deeply uncomfortable. takes a deep breath to steady herself, but ends up inhaling more dust, triggering a violent coughing fit. The image of Angie being swallowed by the tide of Elids refuses to leave her mind, replaying again and again, tormenting her. And then there's RPK-16. Why was she the one who helped her? The one who stayed by Angie's side? I dreamed of Angie when she was still alive. I couldn't protect her. I couldn't protect anyone. Her trembling voice, filled with pain and guilt, breaks as though she might cry at any second. Whenever Alva thinks of Angelina, indescribable sorrow surges in her heart, like it's being stabbed by a blade. Every time she looks back and remembers the first time they lost Angelia, she can't help but wonder, if only she had been more perceptive and discovered the problem sooner. If only she'd done a better job protecting AK-12 so that she hadn't missed that decisive battle. If only she had been stronger. If only she made the right choice. Maybe none of this would have happened. Maybe Angelia would still be alive. Maybe Task Force Defy would still be whole. Maybe. But there's no maybes. Alva knows this. She knows it all too well. In this world, there are no maybes. Sorry, 15. That was a bunch of meaningless nonsense. I hardly ever have nightmares. I guess I'm just not used to it. She rarely has nightmares. Strictly speaking, she almost never dreams at all. Dream? Do I dream? That's right. She's just a doll. No matter how human-like she seems, she's still a doll. Dolls do not die, nor do they have heartbeats or nightmares. They do not sweat either. She stares blankly at her sweaty, sticky hand, her thoughts momentarily unraveling. You're surprisingly self-aware. As Alva freezes in confusion, AK-15 suddenly speaks, her voice cutting cleanly through her thoughts. Her tone is completely different from before, cold and sharp, as if she became someone else. AK-15. Everything that has happened, Angelie's death, Paradius running rampant, and us being reduced to this state today, it's all because of you. Because of your incompetence. Alva's head jerks up as she stares wide-eyed at AK-15, who's now on her feet, looming over her, gazing down ruthlessly. Alva's pupils constrict in shock. She can't believe her ears. She even wonders if she's still dreaming or if she's fallen into another hallucination. Hallucination? This is nothing more than illusion on level 2. Making excuses for yourself now? As AK-15 looks at the shaken Alva, a smile, so derisive it's utterly out of character, appears on her face. Since Angie's gone, everything we've done has been meaningless. Day after day, we've been endlessly repeating the same hollow task of eradicating Paradius. But has anything actually changed? 10 years have passed. Has Paradius truly been destroyed? For every base we wipe out, 2 more pop up immediately. Tell me, what's the point of this? Rising higher and higher, AK-15's voice trembles with rage, hatred, and despair. Even as Alva keeps telling herself this is only a hallucination, her will still threatens to buckle. No matter how hard we try, no matter how much we sacrifice, we can never eradicate them completely. Even if we persist, we'll just be endlessly repeating a Sisyphean task. Do you understand? It's all futile. AK-15 has turned into a roar. Her words crash through the silent desert like a thunderclap. All our sacrifices, all our efforts, none of it means anything in the end. We're trapped in an endless loop we can never escape from. And the one who caused all of this is none other than you, Alva. All of it's because of you. Not true. Alva covers her ears and screams in agony. She wants to run or fight, but she can do neither. She can't move. Her body feels nailed to the ground, heavy as lead. utterly immovable. Inexplicable terror envelops her, pinning her in place. A hallucination? Why is she so certain this is a hallucination? Who's to say the real Voimacina doesn't have such thoughts? At that moment, AK-15 suddenly begins to move. Her movements are slow, stiff, like a marionette pulled by invisible strings, or a rusted machine that squeaks and groans with every motion. As she leans in close, her face begins to change. As it twists and distorts, her features blur like a sketch rubbed away by an eraser. Her eyes hollowed out until they become black voids that seem to swallow everything. Her mouth stretches into a grotesque grin, like a wild beast. She bears sharp fangs, sending chills down Alva's spine. That is an AK-15. It's herself. You know I'm right. Whether I'm a hallucination or not, everything I've said is true. And you're perfectly aware of that. The Alva before her reaches out and grips her throat. With her airway cut off, suffocating panic floods Alva's mind. The world before her gradually darkens. Is this how it ends? The train horizontally blares. The train lurches and rapidly slows, and the Alva before her loses her balance, releasing her grip. At the same time, a blurry figure slams into the Alva, sending her flying. The train screeches to a halt, rows of doors click and slide open at both sides of the carriage. As Alva clutches her throat and coughs, Voimacina yanks her up from the seat. Move. She shoves Alva out of the train. Behind them, furious roars echo from within the carriage. The doppelganger, Alva, is now covered in grotesque scars that crisscross her face like countless knife wounds, hideous beyond words. Her bloodshot and bulging eyes, filled with hatred and rage, lock onto Alva as if she wants to devour her alive. Voimacina turns to face the doppelganger, glances back at Alva one last time, and strides into the carriage and swings her fist at the grotesque doll. It's your fault. It's all your fault. That Alva begins to rupture and split apart into waves of elids crashing onto the ground, snarling as they surge towards her. Alva feels her breathing quicken, but she must stay calm. She must not be deceived by the illusion. She must not let her emotions take control. She has to find the flaw in this hallucination if she wants to escape. She takes a deep breath, grips the gun in her hands tightly, feeling the cold solidity of the weapon, forcing her emotions back under control. The train doors close and the train begins to move again, carrying away Voimacina and the grotesque Alva, while the tide of elids that spilled outside rushes towards her. This is a battle she can't afford to lose. If she loses, she'll be trapped in this illusion forever, never escaping, forever living in pain and self-blame, with no chance of redemption. It's your fault. It's all your fault. They all turn into it. Oh yes, it's all my fault. That's why I can't die here. There are too many things I need to do first. Bring it on. Alva opens her eyes. She's sitting in a vast desert. Some distance away, the howls of the Elid horde foretell the imminent battle, and just when she's about to run out of ammo Angelia come to her rescue. She just has to accept the fact that she'll never be able to pull Angelia onto that train. She will be ushered onto the train by RPK-15, then expelled from the same train by AK-15, only to start waiting for Angelia's arrive again. How many times has she repeated this cycle? Alva's lost count. She recalls what AK-15 just said. We're trapped in an endless loop we can never escape from. And the one who caused all of this is none other than you, Alva. It's all because of you. She lowers her head. What she experienced here is exactly the same as what she's been doing in the past 10 years, going in an endless circle in a place that defies description. Together with the hulking doll, they have wiped out Paradius again and again whenever it appears in their sights. Yet as time goes on, the intelligence they receive leads them to a desperate conclusion. Paradius is reviving in some form, and their revival is accelerating. With her assistance and the support of their former comrades, Alva and Wissine have both grown significantly in strength. But even so, the day they can fulfill their former leader's wish seems to be drifting further and further away. This place is both a nightmare and a reenactment of reality. Alva opens her palm, which reveals a small cube. That cube appeared in her hands when she got off the train for the first time. Alva peers the glowing cube, yet still shakes her head. Even if this is only a nightmare, Angelia's appearance has given Alva second thoughts. But she knows she can no longer hesitate. Something has to change. Alva thinks. After a brief pause, she touches the cube with her fingertips. The cube emits a faint glow. A blurry figure gradually takes shape in front of her. What's wrong, Alva? Got yourself in a bind. "12. Alva stares blankly at the familiar, yet somehow distant face. It has been 10 years since you last saw her in this form. Who would have thought I'd still have to rely on you here? Is that so? You do know that everything here is a construct of your own simulation, right?" AK-12 casually looks around before letting her gaze settle back on Alva. "My appearance will only draw the external attacks to you faster. Are you sure that's okay?" "I know. I just wanted to see you." "Ah. Lavachka is still such a baby. That cube, she has already helped you. Why keep yourself trapped here?" A gentle smile graces AK-12's face, her eyes remaining closed. "You don't want to keep doing things that seem meaningless even though you... do you?" "I don't think what I'm doing is meaningless." "Then why trap yourself here?" "I've always done what I believed was right. But that sense of righteousness has grown blurry with time. I can't tell if my past efforts have truly changed anything. I don't know whether, as the team leader of Task Force DeFi, I'm really carrying on Angie's will. Have you fallen into a trap of self-doubt? You're a doll. Thinking about such meaningless things is, in itself, meaningless to you. And yet, these thoughts still plague your neurocloud like a nightmare. Isn't that ironic?" "I'm just afraid that I won't be able to achieve Angie's goal." "And what exactly was Angie's goal?" "She wanted to eradicate Paradius for good. She wanted to rid the world of those who try to use the power of the relics for their own ambitions." "Is that really what she wanted?" What? She never told you her true ideals, did she? Perhaps all is nothing more than your own wishful thinking. She fell on a path that was destined to fail, and you followers are repeating the same mistake. Her idea was too lofty, So lofty that she couldn't possibly pay the price to realize it. So lofty that even those who try to carry on her will after she's gone couldn't understand it. Angelia merely followed her instinct toward a place that seemed to shine with light, only for that place to be a sheer cliff. She fell. And you? Are you another lost follower? 10 years have already passed. Has anything truly changed? Do you know why I'm stuck here, listening to your lecture? Why? Because I know these are all thoughts born from my own neural cloud. I know this. The smiling at K-12 gradually turns into Alva. This is my weakness, an obstacle I have to face and overcome. Where does that bring her? Like, does her neural cloud just evolve? I've always wondered why Angie kept struggling even in such utter despair. I remember something she once said. If everything in life is futile, what's the point of struggling? I know I don't have all the answers right now. I think Angie may have been questioning herself with the very same doubt. Her answer to that particular question was, I will have the answer question with my entire life. Yes, even if no hope is in sight, someone still has to keep moving forward. One day, everything will change. Indeed, I may not truly understand what Angie wanted to achieve. But I know this much, so long as I haven't given up, her will continues to live on. As long as I keep going, I haven't betrayed the oath the task force defy. The owl before her smiles serenely, finally at peace. Choice always comes with price. She paid the price for a choice. And what about you? I'm willing to do the same. If that's your choice, then let's see whether you truly have the strength to back it all up. Alva begins to split apart, rupturing into hordes of Elias that crash onto the ground, snarling as they lunge towards her. But now, Alva's no longer stricken with panic. She simply tightens her grip and raises her weapon, aiming it at the Alva before her. I've wasted quite some time. I suppose I'll have to apologize properly afterwards. But I have to keep moving forward, because not moving forward is not an option. Isn't that right, Angie? Blow up.
依照相关条例，追捕了。这和违约立地成兵，聆听这千军万马之誓吧。
A wind mechanic that pushes you a space. I don't think I've seen that before, have I?
聆听这千军万马之誓吧。
I've seen springs push things. Ooh, I love this music. I want the sheet music for this really bad. I can play this pretty easily. The desert, the yellow sand, the campfire, and the endless eyelids all vanish without a trace. All that remains before her eyes is a vast expanse of pure white. What is this place?
这里是
Her neurocloud is no longer at the mercy of hallucinations. She calmly awaits the final conversation. Alva looks up at the sky. There's no sun, no moon, no stars, only a pristine whiteness, like an immaculately spotless ceiling. She looks around in confusion, sensing the stillness of this world. When she first opens her eyes, the surrounding white seems shrouded in a thin mist or vapor. As she begins to observe more closely, that haze slowly fades away. Even though everything remains flawlessly white, Alva's already recognized it. She's in that mansion. The carpet, the walls, and the furniture, all white, blended perfectly into the white background. However, if one looks carefully, their shapes can still be discerned through light and shadow. If she were equipped with Wolf Eye, she would have figured it out much more easily. She thinks to herself. You finally made it here, Alva. Angie. This is pretty beautiful. As if she's known Angelia would appear all along, Alva turns towards the source of the voice. Angelia is wearing a long, pure white dress, almost completely merging with the background. Only her familiar face and confident smile stand out clearly. She looks more mellow than Alva remembers, without a trace of battle left upon her. Alva is slightly taken aback by Angelia's unfamiliar appearance. Angelia slips forward lightly and reaches out to stroke Alva's cheek. The sensation is warm and real. Alva, it's been a long time. Seeing Angelia dressed like this fills Alva with an inexplicable sense of familiarity and comfort. She doesn't know what to say. She can only keep her drinking in the sight of Angelia, as if she's trying to etch this image deep into her neurocloud. It's been 10 years, hasn't it? That's right. 10 whole years. Good heavens. So much time passed in the blink of an eye. Angelia scratches her head with a self-mocking smile, unsure where to begin. By the way, how have you been these past 10 years? Alva wants to speak, but it feels as though something's lodged in her throat. She gazes at her, a flood of complex, indescribable emotions surging within her. Angelia takes Alva's hands and leads her slowly through the pure white mansion. Alva steadies herself and tells Angelia about Task Force Defy's battles over the past 10 years, about forming a new anti-relic organization, about dismantling Parades bases, one after another. Angie simply listens with a smile as 10 years worth of words gush out of Alva all at once. Kevin and Nellie have been helping us as well. Do you remember the child you rescued from the submarine base? The one with the same name as me? Yep. Anna. She's all grown up now, standing on her own 2 feet. And the other children we were with her, they're all alive and well. That's so. That's wonderful to hear. Suddenly, Angelia stops walking, turns to Alva and asks her, in the same casual tone one might used to ask what to eat for lunch. It's been 10 years, Alva. Don't you want to give up? Why bring that up all of a sudden? Paradius is too vast. Maybe you'll never be able to defeat it. Maybe you could stop and find a life of your own. I say that, but I'm sure you'd never agree to that, would you? No, I can't stop yet. Before Alva can finish, Angelia gently pulls her into an embrace, speaking in a voice like she's soothing an exhausted child to sleep. I'm sorry. I just went and left everything to you lot. These 10 years must have been so hard on you and the others. Alva doesn't reply. She just holds Angelia tightly. Even through all that pain, all that confusion, you've kept going all the same. You've grown mature, dependable, reassuring. Reluctantly, Alva lifts her head. After a long while, she whispers something so softly it's almost inaudible. If only you were still here. I wish I were too, but you have to accept the fact that I'm already gone. I'm sorry. When everything became even harder to bear, all I could do was stand by, powerlessly. It's okay. You once lived, and that's good enough for me. Oh man, just thinking about something though. That's true. A dead person isn't worth all this pain. It's time to end this. Stop frying your own neural cloud with this simulation. You miss me, but it's time to end this. Angie. What should I do? I don't want to give up. But sometimes I really don't know what I should do to make things better. To be honest, I don't know either. You're already far more dependable than I ever was. If I'd been as reliable as you are now, maybe things wouldn't have turned out that way. No, I'm just kidding. Still, maybe I can offer you a small piece of advice. A piece of advice? Maybe doing the right thing's your goal, rather than following my obsessions. Just do the right thing, what you think is. Carrying on my will doesn't mean being trapped by Das doctrines. Find a purpose you believe in. My purpose. You must have saved a lot of people over these 10 years, just like we used to. Do you regret putting the effort into that? How could I ever regret saving lives? Then keep at it. Use your strength to save innocent people. Keep doing it again and again, until the day you truly find the right path. One day, we'll realize where the path of righteousness and justice in our hearts truly lies. Haven't we always been feeling far forward like this? Use your strength to save innocent people. Keep doing it again and again until the day you truly find the right path. We'll realize the path of righteousness and justice in our hearts truly lies. Haven't we always been feeling our way forward like this? Yeah. As long as you girls are around, those people full of bad intentions won't have a peaceful night's sleep. So go ahead and keep defying them all. Alva chuckles in relief, and Angelia laughs along with her. You're right. One day, I'll put them to a good sleep they'll never wake back up from. I'm looking forward to that day. Angelia stretches, walks a few steps forward, then turns back to look at Alva. All right, it's about time. I've said a lot of things that sound very unlike me. After all, the me in your memories isn't really me. But I believe Angelia would have said pretty much the same. Maybe a bit more gruffy. The me in your memories is far too gentle. You know the way back, don't you? Yeah. Alva takes out the cube. Before activating it, she prepares to say her final goodbye to Angelia. Angie, I'm so glad I could talk with you. You're quite sly, you know. If those people realize you're using computing power from their attacks to do something like this, they'd be grinding their teeth in fury. That's beautiful. Solves what's actually happening. She generated a world using their computing powers to properly fill out and review her memories of the people she liked and loved. Alva laughs and shakes her head. That's all thanks to her help. Otherwise, I don't know if I could have held on. True enough. Send my regards to the others for me, and tell them it's time they let me go. I will. Alva opens her palm. The cube glows brightly. She closes her hand. When she opens it again, the cube transformed into familiar MP443. Do it, Alva. Right. Goodbye, Angie. Damn. Alva raises the pistol. The sights, Angelia smiles and waves at her. As Angelia falls, her body dissolves into countless specks of light. The white space finally fails to hold, collapsing in vast swaths and revealing the endless darkness beyond. Before everything returns to nothingness, Alva seems to glimpse a blurry figure standing in the distance. The figure simply nods once, then turns away, fading away along with the collapsing white world. Thank you. I'll keep moving forward, Angie. Oh, perfect. They're trying to hack her into the whole time. She was just controlling their servers to recreate a world to visit her memories and bring life to her dead friends. The familiar hum echoes in her ears, the sound of countless instruments and machines interweave into an endless industrial symphony. Inside the hibernation capsule, the cold touch of metal presses in from all sides, binding Alva tightly and leaving her unable to move. Alva slowly opens her eyes. Her vision shifts from a blur to clarity. The scene before her is no different from before. The same narrow, specially designed capsule with the same busy marionette dolls researchers milling about outside. And through the observation window, legs crossed as she perches on a high stool, is Chilveg. Oh my, Sleeping Beauty's finally awake? Chilveg springs up exaggeratedly and scampers to the observation window, pressing her entire face against the glass. Her distorted grin looks eerie and slightly comical. She taps the glass with a finger as if knocking on a fish tank. How absolutely marvelous. She suddenly falls back a step, cupping her face with one hand, eyes open. I thought your little brain would be turned into total mushroom this time for sure. And yet, you gained consciousness. Miss Eaglet cranked her power dial way past the red line. How terrifying. Chilveg spins as she talks, making a little gesture beside her temple to convey how mind-blowing she finds the situation. Then abruptly freezes. She bends down and presses her face close to the window again. Looks like I really underestimated Pandora's endurance. Samantha Saw's masterpiece, indeed. She bares her teeth in a wide grin, then suddenly slumps in disappointment, letting out an exaggerated sigh as her shoulders drop. What a shame. I was actually planning to recover your data fragments and put your neural cloud back together, piece by piece, like a puzzle. Might have found something interesting. She traces shapes in the air as if assembling an imaginary jigsaw. But it's now apparent that even if I really want to destroy your little brain, I probably couldn't. She shrugs, and then abruptly puts on an expression of sympathy, blinking her big eyes and pounding her lips in an exaggerated manner. Oh, right. My dear Alvach, I'm so terribly sorry for the pain you just went through. She strikes an over-the-top pose in apology, right hand on her chest, left hand drawing circles in the air. Alvachka. Is that a... what does that word mean? The term Alvachka is a diminutive form of the name Alexandra, which has its roots in Slavic culture. Oh, so it's a diminutive term of the name for using the word Alva. It reflects a sense of warmth and intimacy often used among friends and family. Okay, so it's just replacing the word Alva with... okay, got it. Who could have guessed that my dear partner, the ever elegant and refined Miss Igla, who always says please to everyone, would completely lose her temper over a few harmless jabs from you. But don't worry, sweetheart. I was the one who turned the power up that high. Miss Igla was the violent maniac who twisted the dial all the way. She presses a finger to her lips in conspiratorial, slushing gesture. What Igla did went way past the safety limits. Past even what I expected. My goodness, I was scared out of my mind. Even I wouldn't dare to turn the power up that high. Who knows what might happen? The whole lab could have blown up. Kaboom! But really, darling, I couldn't stop her. You know better than I do. She's a complete monster. If she loses her temper again, who knows what'll happen? I might really get chopped to bits. She makes a throat-slitting gesture, sticks out her tongue, and then breaks into giggles. Alva merely watches her manic display in silence, her eyes utterly flat. Oh dear, did I ramble too much about Igla? Chilvik suddenly stops and lightly smacks her own cheeks as if admonishing herself. You're the star here, isn't that right, Alvachka? She smiles sweetly, licking her lips as her tone suddenly becomes low and enticing. So you survived that. Impressive. But miracles aren't infinite, you know. You of all people should understand how painful a neural assault can be. She leans against the observation window, fingertips gliding lightly across the grass. So maybe now you've been more inclined to tell me a little secret? She tilts her head, her voice almost coquettish, yet a dangerous glint shines in her eyes. Alva doesn't answer right away, even though she senses that she's regained the ability to speak. Whether because of her condition has improved, or because Chilvig has disabled some restrictions, she doesn't know. Regardless, she simply stares at Chilvig, her gaze utterly calm and still, like stagnant water without the slightest ripple. So that little bit of pain was nothing to you? Chilvig pouts and stomps her foot like a child denied candy. Then her expression rapidly shifts. She leans close to the glass, a cruel smile spreading across her face. Figures. After all, you're a bunch of monsters who've never experienced death. Alva's eyelids twitch. What do you want me to tell you? I've been imprisoned here for a long time. You're already more aware of Voimastina or Thieves' whereabouts than me. Ask for information about the Task Force Defy? Paradius already knows more than enough. You're the ones hiding in the shadows. We're the hunters. No, my dear. You got it all wrong. Chilvig wags a finger and prances away. I'm not interested in that stuff at all. Only Miss Igla worries about that kind of boring nonsense. I thought you were partners. Allow me to correct you, sweetheart. We're just collaborators. It's a working relationship. A pure exchange of interests. Like pizza and cola. Totally different from them, but they sometimes show up together. She wags a finger like a strict teacher, even though the analogy might as well come from a child. At the moment, we just happen to share a goal. That hardly makes us comrades. I like her sword, she needs my brain. Simple as that. I said partners. Our aspirations aren't even the same. How long do you think this partnership can last? Her smile suddenly vanishes and her tone turns grave. Tell me, did Task Force Defy make it this far together by interest alone? Alva lifts her head slightly. Since their encounter at their base, this is the first time she truly meets Chilvig eyes. Then what is your aspiration? Chilvik snaps her fingers lightly and a grin appears. Boop. With that gesture, the marionette doll researchers bustling around the lab all freeze, turn, and stare at Alva with hollow eyes. They stand in perfect unison, like soldiers awaiting orders, silently watching her. An oppressive presence. Chilvik slowly walks back to the observation window, her voice dripping with temptation. To be honest, even though I love chatting and talking and acting like I know everything, I still think I don't know enough about you Defy dolls. You're always scurrying around like rats, after all. But this much I know. You harbor an almost obsessive hatred for Peridius. I find that hatred fascinating and confusing. Her tone grows somber, and a frantic light blazes in her eyes. To me, Peridius research is nothing short of a miracle. Technology that surpasses humanity's current limits. She throws her arms wide as if embracing the entire world. We're exploring the mysteries of life, creating miracles of evolution. It's like magic, only better, because it's science. Her eyes gleam as she stares into empty space, even if it requires some small sacrifices along the way, incurs a few negligible costs. That the final result will be beautiful, worth it, so dazzling, so exquisite. Just like baking a cake, you have to break a few eggs. She mimes cracking in eggs, then lifts her hands at presenting an invisible cake. We'll lead humanity into the next stage of evolution. We'll create a brand new, better world. She pauses, her tone softening like she's speaking to a lost child, though the fervor in her eyes remains. And you, sweet Alva, you could have been part of that new world. You have such a powerful neurocloud, such extraordinary potential, yet you're trapped in this outdated shell, bound by meaningless hatred. What a waste. Such a terrible waste. Chilvik theatrically wipes away non-existent tears, lamenting Alva's incomprehensible choice. So how about it? Alvashka, I'll give you a chance. A chance to let go of the past and embrace the future. If you join us, I'll grant you one wish. One you can't possibly refuse. A wish. That would be... Ta-dam! Dun 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 dun. Reviving your former commander. Angelia. She drags out each syllable, her voice tantalizing. At the sound of Angelia's name, Alva's pupil contracts sharply. Oh man, this music reminds me of, what is it? Kingdom Hearts, when you're in, like, the mystery world at the start of the game and at the end of the game. When you're standing on the glass platforms. You've seen me come back from the dead. Twice. You know I can do it. She grins as she mimes, clawing her way out of a grave. Even though 10 years have passed, the engram of Angelia's consciousness have been preserved in Peridius' database this whole time. The moment you give the green light, I don't even need LDFI members' approval. Just yours. I'll give her back to you. The devil's contract. As far as I know, that's the biggest source of hatred you have towards Peridius anyways. Well, a fair deal, right? A perfect win-win, if you ask me. Chilvik sways smugly, watching Alva's reaction, convinced she struck her weakness. Do you really mean it? Chilvik's eyes light up, a satisfied smile spreading across her face. Of course, sweetheart. I'm Dr. Chilvik. Chilvik never lies. At least not to her friends. Maybe to some other people. She places one hand over her heart and raises the other high in solemn oath. How do I know you're not lying? Maybe everything you said was just to trick me into handing over 043.
到头来，你还是只想要043。你们的谈话我听见了。
I heard your conversation. You're trying to complete Project Eden. That's the common goal you share with Igla.
你和真共同的目标。我不相信你会撇下。
I don't believe you'd ban something this important just to convert me. Alva's voice trembles slightly, though she tries to keep it steady. She peers at Chilvig with a mix of hope and doubt, waiting for an answer, seeking confirmation that the woman before her is telling the truth. Chilvig slaps her thigh and bursts into exaggerated laughter. Oh, darling, you underestimate me. I'm a genius who can multitask. I can win you over and complete Project Eden at once. Like dancing a perfect duet. My feet steps one way, my hands moving another. Then, what exactly is Project Eden? Oh, you really want to know that badly? She arches an eyebrow, leaning forward as if sharing a grand secret. In her eyes, Alva's clearly been shaken off the offer and is starting to waver. Alright then, since you're so curious, I'll let you in on the gist of it. She stops closer to the observation window, lowering her voice. Project Eden is a magnificent project. One that can change humanity's destiny. Though a flower that draws butterflies will glimpse of a new world no one's ever set foot in. Through a flower that draws in butterflies will get a glimpse of a new world no one's ever set foot in. A world without war, without disease, without pain. A world of nothing but joy, happiness, and eternity. She spreads her arms and closes her eyes as if already seeing it. In that world, everyone can share the shackles of flesh and gain eternal life. Shackles of the flesh and gain eternal life. Everyone can realize their dreams. The possibilities are endless. All this requires a qualified flower to serve as the essential key. Her eyes snap open and blaze with fanatic light. She's revealed another new term, the key. Do you understand now? Sweetheart, it's time for you to decide. Chivik smiles faintly, tossing the key towards Alva. She doesn't notice that while she was busy making her impassioned speech, Alva's gaze has already grown cold. The faint hesitation has vanished completely, leaving only scorn and fury. It really does sound magnificent. So basically, you're planning to use that child to open the gateway that activates relics? You built a device that imitates the starfish, didn't you? No wonder you needed the Draugr to gather collapsed particles. What exactly do you plan to do with this space triggered by the relics? Alva's rapid-fire questions catch Jilvik completely off guard. You... Wait, how do you know all this? Jilvik's smile freezes, shock and anger flashing across her eyes. She rushes to her terminal, only to discover the central system's firewall has already completely failed. That's when it dawns on her. Alva infiltrated the servers. She may have read all the classified data. You played me? Her voice turns sharp, her sweet smile twisting into something grotesque. Looks like you're not as smart as you think. Why do you think I came? This time, it's Alva whose voice is dripping with open mockery. But at least you got one thing right. You don't hold a candle to Dr. Shaw. Damn. Insulting her dignity as a scientist. Comparing yourself to a better one. Jilvik's expression shifts rapidly. Anger, hurt, rage, before finally settling into a warped smile. What a pity. I was going to give you a chance. How generous of me. But since you don't know what's good for you. She slams her hand against the observation window with a deafening bang. I see you prefer your previous treatment. No matter. Since you survived the neural attack, let's see how you fare in reality. I sure hope you can keep up that tough attitude next time, sweetheart. A sick smile spreads across her face as she presses her face up close to the glass. Alva no longer hides her fury. She glares at Chilvig with open contempt and disgust. Oh, I will. I will make Paradius, as well as the Roar Group, pay for everything you've done. As for you, I will personally twist your head off. I will make you pay for insulting Angie. Chilvig guffaws as she just heard the funniest joke. I'm really looking forward to it, Helfska. Very much looking forward to this. Suddenly, red lights flash through the lab. Alarms flood the room. Forward. The smile freezes on Chilvig's face as she stares at Alva in disbelief. What have you done? Self-destruction sequence? Again? Alva answers with a faint derision. What do you think? Chilvig stands stunned for 3 seconds, then snaps out of it. She rushes back to the terminal, trying to initiate self-destruction, but the system rejects her again and again. You really shouldn't make the same mistake twice. By the way, have you brought poison this time? If not, you better run, or it'll be too late. I just remembered I've got things to take care of. I'll come back for you once I'm done. Don't miss me. She blows an exaggerated kiss, then turns and sashays out of the lab without looking back. You're up, Voimosina. Alva closes her eyes. There's no panic, no hesitation. Just calmness that seems out of place on a prisoner in enemy captivity. Her fingers twitch lightly, as if playing a silent melody. Meanwhile, deep beneath the Draugrs facilities, Voimostina makes her final preparations within the labyrinthine sewer system. Voimostina is leaning against the damp wall before her floats a holographic projection of the Draugr group's underground complex. This is one of the things she prepared Voimostina and Alva to enter before Voimostina and Alva entered Lviv. Originally intended as a retreat plan, no one thought it would now be useful as an assault. Voimostina is laden with carefully prepared tactical gear, breaching tools, electronic jammers, spare magazines, several compact EMP devices. Each been checked and calibrated to ensure flawless performance. Finishes her third equipment check, shuts down the map, and stands upright. In a corner of the sewer, Helena keeps a clear distance from Voimostina. She curls up on a protruding pipe in the shadows, watching Voimostina's every move with vigilance. 3 metal spheres orbit her, ready to form a defensive array. Moving in 1 minute. Voimostina's voice is low and steady, though it's unclear who she's addressing. She inspects her assault rifle, making sure every mechanical component is optimal. And sees the magazine in one smooth, silent motion. Helena watches her proficient handling of the weapons and instinctively shrinks back. The metal spheres move at once, forming a miniature protective barrier before her. Voimostina notices the movement but shows no emotional response. She simply continues with her preparations, scanning the surroundings with wolf eye and running self-diagnostics. Route confirmed. Helena leans forward slightly, seemingly curious of Voimostina's mutterings, but quickly withdraws as Voimostina looks up at her. Is she up there? Voimostina nods briefly. She takes a small device from her tactical pack. After a moment of hesitation, she sets it on the ground between herself and Helena without moving closer. For emergency, press it and release a wide area interference signal. Helena stares at the device, but doesn't reach for it. One of her metal spheres glides over, lightly prods it as if checking for danger, then carefully carries it back to her. Voimostina watches calmly, offering no comment. Once Helena has it, she turns back to her own gear. We Defy members all have built-in trackers that only respond to each other. Their range is only 2 kilometers. Very archaic signal, but only the 3 of us recognize it. It's a key component of her and Alva's breach formation, and now the lifeline of this rescue mission. Helena listens, her wariness easing slightly, though she still keeps her distance. Why did she stay behind? The question catches Voimastina off guard. She pauses what she's doing and looks at Helena. Something subtle shifts in her eyes. For the mission. For you. The short, direct answer seems to weigh on Helena. She lowers her head and murmurs softly. She and Helena are strangers. Helena falls silent as pondering what Voimastina just told her. You are gonna save her? The question once again gives Voimastina a pause. She meets Helena's gaze. I will. Save? Yes. Voimastina nods. I can't take you along. Helena's eyes widen. Take me. No. Voimastina shakes her head. It's dangerous. I can't protect you. Helena is very strong. Helena points at herself. Voimastina draws her broken combat knife and uses the snap blade to carve a grotesque face into the ground. She's strong. Stronger than me. Helena looks down at the crude drawing. Even generously speaking, it's terrible. But she recognizes the eagle all the same. Super strong? Helena droops, dejected. So wait here. I'll rescue Alva, then come back for you. Okay. Helena seems to remember something. The 3 middle spheres behind her begin to rotate slowly, emitting a faint hum. One of the spheres breaks formation and floats up in front of her. Helena reaches out with the small hands, gently cups the sphere, and offers it to Voimastina. This is for you. Protects you. Her tone is serious, resolute, like entrusting something precious. I didn't know she can get those away. Voimastina freezes slightly as she looks at the sphere. She may not fully understand Helena's specific circumstances, but she knows the sphere are Helena's weapons as well as her defense. She wants to refuse. Helena needs it more. But seeing the expectant look in Helena's eyes, she finally relents and accepts it. Thank you. The sphere feels cold in her hands, but the texture doesn't feel exactly metallic to her. Once the sphere comes into contact with Voimastina, it begins to gain awareness and floats up to hover at her side. Helena nods in satisfaction, steps back lightly, her eyes never leaving And Voimastina rises to her full height and looks up towards the sewer's exit once more. Her gaze sharpens, resolute, like a beast about to strike. She takes a deep breath and rolls her shoulders. Her joints crackle softly. She's ready. No one will stop her. She launches upward like a battering ram, smashing through the metal grate in an instant, the entrance torn open, and a shaft of bright light comes pouring down. The light falls on Helena, who stays behind on her own. She lifts her head and watches her leave. Praying for success. Tabula Smargadina. Is that a word? Smargadina. Smargad. Just a name. Oh my gosh, it is a real word. A genus of short-horned leaf beetles belonging to the family. They look like snails. Just like what they've always done. I'm in. Setting over security system plans now. Coordinates shared. Copy that. Wait for extraction. Alright.
躲开吗？就算会受伤，请下命令。正义的能力，依照相关条例，你被捕了。
Orbital dog.
立地成冰，真和违约，立地成冰。
At least one ally reaches designated area. I gotta try this one in hard mode later, because there's no way that can be just that simple.
我想要帮助大家。请下命令。接受制裁。
Rapid, heavy footsteps echo through the empty corridor. If not for Alva's signal guiding her, Voimosina would never have discovered the secret Paradius laboratory hidden inside this glossy, immaculate building. She can't find, nor does she bother to look for, the switch to any hidden door. After confirming the location, she simply smashes through the wall with brute force, revealing the dark passage beyond. Helena's metal sphere follows closely behind it, and emits a beam of blue light to scan the passage for traps and surveillance devices. Then it precisely fires several jamming pulses that cripple the electronics along the way. Boom. After destroying the automated sentry turrets lining the corridor, she drives a powerful kick into the heavy metal door, standing at the far end, producing a deafening crash. Under the tremendous force, the metal door twists and caves inwards, nearly tearing free from its frame. The hinges let out an agonized screech like a cry of pain under unbearable strain. Debris flies, dust fills the air. As the door finally collapses completely, Voimosina's figure appears in the laboratory entrance like an unscalable mountain. She takes in the busy marionette doll researchers, the complex instruments and machinery, but in the end, her gaze settles on the specially designed hibernation capsule. Even without confirming the signal, she knows Alva's in there. Voimosina. Likewise, despite being trapped inside the capsule, Alva's aware of Voimosina's arrival. Her voice, coming from within the capsule, sounds weak, utterly different from when she confronted Chilvig earlier. Weak, but unmistakably clear. More importantly, an air of inevitability in her tones, as if everything is unfolded exactly as calculated. The moment Voimosina stepped in the lab, the once busy marionette dolls abruptly turned towards her in unison, their eyes glowing a terrifying red. Blades and firearms extend from her hands once used for research, but the whoosh, and the very next second, they all lunge at Voimosina together. At that instant, Helena's metal sphere deploys its full weapon systems, transforming into a floating spherical turret. Precise energy beams fire from multiple angles, striking key points in several marionette dolls and opening a path for Voimosina. These dolls are even stronger than the guards outside. A blade hacks into Voimosina's frame, carving a deep wound. Move. Out of the way. But she pays it no mind. She grabs one of them, yanks hard, tearing off the arm with a polymer vibration blade attached to it. Without a single pause, she swings the severed limb like a weapon. The limb slams into another doll's head with tremendous force. Its skull explodes instantly, electronics, compartments, and oil spraying everywhere. Voimosina's movements are clean, decisive, and packed with raw power. The next moment, she's already closed in on the remaining dolls. Bing bing! Weapons extended from the arms fire continuously. Bullets rain down on Voimosina, sending sparks flying violently across her frame. Yet she seems unfazed, her steps never slowing. Soon, only one figure remains standing in the lab. She stands amid the wreckage, her body splattered with synthetic blood and machine oil. Strong as she may be, Voimosina is still covered in wounds. The metal sphere hovers at her side, scanning the remains on the floor, checking for any units that haven't been fully disabled. Ignoring the sphere, she strides straight towards the capsule holding Alva, lifts her right arm and drives it straight into the metal hatch like a blade. Then she hooks her thumbs in and rips hard, tearing the capsule door right off. Alva sits quietly inside. Alva. I'm fine. Everything went according to plan. Her voice is still soft, but her eyes are razor sharp and fully alert. Voimosina lowers her gaze to the cables and restraints binding Alva's frame. Having fought her way here with sheer violence, she now becomes careful and precise, slowly removing each restraint. The torn cable, still sparkling, silently testify the torment Alva endured while imprisoned. Wires snap with crackling pops, sending sparks flying. Restraints tear loose with ripping hisses, falling to the floor. Soon, Alva's completely free. The moment she regains her freedom, she stands up on her own without waiting for Williamson's help. No greetings, no visible relief, she just gently pushes her aside and walks straight towards the terminal at the center of the lab. Her objective is crystal clear, as if every step has long been planned. At this moment, Alva looks like less like a rescued captive and more like an operative who finally reached her target. Where's Helena? Alva extracts an auxiliary digit from her hand, then draws a data cable from the back of her neck and plugs it directly into the terminal. The motion's fluid, nothing like someone just survived an almost lethal neural attack, and far more like a hunter finally lunging for her prey. She's in the sewers. I told her to stay there. Alva frowns slightly with some concern. Voimastina keeps her eyes on Alva, running rapid diagnostic with her wolf eye. Once she confirms there's no severe damage, the tension in her body eases almost imperceptibly. It's safer there. She then scans the room and looks at the heat slip equipment stripped from Alva. Alva says nothing, her eyes are already flashing once more with cascading green data streams. Also, there's the comm links. Having retrieved Alva's gear, she moves her aside and reclips everything piece by piece, as Alva focuses on copying the data. At the same time, she points to the hovering metal sphere Helena gave her, indicating that it can serve as a communicator. Your neurocloud has taken quite a hit. I don't recommend hacking at this time. Every second counts. If I don't do this, there'll be no point to everything we've done so far. I've learned more about the truth behind Project Eden. You expected, it's far more complex than we thought. I need to know more. And there's something else. They said that the engram of Angie's consciousness is still in Paredes' database, even now. That engram needs to be deleted. She deserves to rest in peace. Alva doesn't turn her head. Even as Voimastina finishes helping her gear up, she remains fully focused on the terminal. Before the reinforcements arrive, before Eagler returns, we must decrypt and copy as much data as possible. We still know far too little about Paredes. It looks to be 2 minutes and 40 seconds to breathe to this building and reach the lab. They've had plenty of time to react. If we don't react in time, breaking out will be extremely difficult once that doll returns. Yeah, I know. Alva doesn't waver. On the monitor before her, the data scroll mirrors her flashing eyes. The data here is critical. If we can send them out, even if we fail here, it'll be worth it. Even if we fall here, not fail here. Understood. Voimastina nods, no longer rejecting. She heads toward the lab entrance that she's wrecked, crouches down, and begins setting traps. Alarms continue to wail through the lab and corridors. Amid flashing red lights and piercing sirens, Voimastina and Alva work in silence, swiftly assuming their respective roles. Even after completing every preparation she can, Voimastina says nothing more. She simply positions herself behind Alva and stands guard. She will protect Alva and fight for her decisions. In turn, Alva handles everything else, pointing Voimastina towards the path forward. Just as it's always been. Was it 2 more, maybe? Stretch. Okay. One more story and one more after story. Squirrel. Inside the laboratory, aside from the shrill alarm looping endlessly, the only sounds are the low hum of operating machinery and the soft tapping of Alva's fingers striking the keyboard. On the screen, a progress bar crawls forward at an agonizing pace, as if racing as time itself. Every second seems unbearably long. Next time Don't pull this kind of stunt again. No promises, but it probably won't happen again.
但应该不会了。这样的招数不会起效。
The same trick won't work twice. If they catch me next time, they'll fry my neural clad outright. They could have done that this time.
但你来。
But you came.
好了，那草。
Helena's hidden. Once things are settled here, we'll all leave together. Alpha's gaze is focused and intent. Even as she speaks to Voimastina, her eyes remain locked on the progress bar. Her fingers dance rapidly across the keyboards as if playing an impassioned piece of music. And explosions. Suddenly, at this critical moment, a thunderous explosion erupts from outside the door. So loud it drowns out even the blaring alarm. The laboratory walls shudder as if struck by an earthquake. Yep, she's here. Alva's hand pauses for less than half a second before calmly resuming their work. Unlike last time, Alva did not give Chilvig a chance to self-destruct. She could not destroy the data in the computer or wipe the hard drives. There's far too much intelligence here that they need. Including the true, detailed files of Project Eden. Voimastina raises her head. She gazes through the laboratory door, through the long corridor beyond, and into the distance.
他来了。
She's here. Voimastina says it calmly, as if stating something utterly trivial. She racks the bolt and grips a high polymer vibrating blade stripped from a marionette doll.
我去了。
I'm going.
祝你好。
Good luck. Alba does not turn around, but she feels the faint movement of air behind her. Soundlessly, Voimastina's figure vanishes from the library. I said laboratory. In the corridor, dust and smoke slowly disperse, revealing a graceful silhouette. Igla calmly strides through the wreckage left by the explosion. As though out for a leisurely stroll, her suit remains perfectly pressed. Her high heels click crisply against the rubble. Behind her follows a fully armed elite unit. Igla comes to a halt, lightly straightening her cuff. Her gaze settles ahead on Voimastina, who's standing like an unbreakable bulwark, blocking the way to the lab. Oh? Igla's voice is soft as velvet, yet carries the undeniable force. She inclines her head slightly, as if greeting an old friend. Miss Voimastina, what an unexpected encounter. I thought I'd be meeting Miss Alva instead. But after only a few steps, she stops once more. None of the guards behind her are human soldiers. All of them are marionette dolls directly under Igla's command. Each personally selected and modified by her, capable of making short work of an ordinary tactical squad. Igla stands at the doorway, her gaze cold and sharp like a blade. And before her, on the road leading to the laboratory, that familiar figure blocks her path once more. This alone is reason enough for her to stop. Voimastina does not respond. She gently sets the assault rifle in her hands down against the wall, then retrieves two long blades from her waist, gripping one in each hand. After their previous clash, both she and Igla know full well that conventional firearms are meaningless against tactical dolls of their caliber. Igla watches Voimastina's movements, her lips curling into a smile. Ah, your choice of weapon reveals your intent. I understand. She lifts a hand lightly, signaling the unit behind her to halt. Please wait, my friends. This is a private invitation from an honored guest. Igla steps forward, her movements fluid and elegant, like a ballerina taking center stage. Her right hand brushes the slender lip rapier on her waist. Her left draws the silver and gold pistol, only to turn into its holder a moment later. Firearms, at our level discourse, do seem a bit lacking in taste. She holsters the pistol and calmly draws the rapier from her waist. Under the lights, the blade gleams with a cold luster. I must admit, I'm beginning to see the whole picture now. Her voice remains gentle, yet carries a peculiar note of admiration. Miss Alva's plan is indeed impressive. Her captive was no accident. It was a deliberate arrangement. A meticulous design trap, meant to lure us into bringing her into the core area, granting her access to classified data she otherwise could never reach. And you, Miss Voimastina, Alright, now the final piece on the board. Tasked with blocking any force that might interrupt the data transmission. Eagle likely flicks her rapier, tracing a graceful arc through the air. Such audacity, such courageous execution. It's truly astonishing. Task Force Defiant's reputation is well deserved. When I come face to face with Miss Alva again, I must formally apologize for my earlier discourtesy. Messina remains silent. She lowers the center of gravity slightly and shifts into an optimal combat stance. Her wolf eyes running at high speed, analyzing Igla's every movement and possible lines of attack. I take your silence as a confirmation. Still, allow me to express my personal respect. Though we stand on opposite sides, I sincerely admire you and Miss Alva's courage and intellect. Igla's tone is earnest, yet a dangerous glint flashes in her eyes. However, respect is respect. Duty is duty. I cannot allow your plan to succeed. Miss Orphelian's future, the fate of the Gerard Group, and the completion of Project Eden all outweigh my personal feelings here. She raises her rapier and points to the voice menacingly. How much longer? How long does Miss Alva need to finish the data transfer? 5 minutes? 10? Igla studies Voimacina's reaction closely. The Voimacina remains utterly stoic and unresponsive. I see. Then it seems I must quicken the pace. She steps forward, the sound of her high heels striking the floor crisp and clear. Miss Voimacina, please forgive my forthcoming discourtesy. I will endeavor to ensure this process is both efficient and dignified. You talk too much. Voimacina finally speaks, her comment brief and blunt. Igla said a soft chuckle, the warmth in her eyes vanishes, replaced by icy focus. Then let action replace words. She bends her knees and assumes the ungod position in fencing. Ungod! My apologies. I'm afraid I must interrupt Miss Alva's work. Boss fight. Easy mode though, so it doesn't matter. I am curious how her model looks like from here. It's always hard to use this thing. Down. Cool. I do think Igla's super cool. It'd be cool to have her as a unit if they ever let you. Igla and the Gothic doll Darius. It'd be cool just to have them as units. Storyline wise makes no sense. They would never just, well, I guess Darius had her memory wiped and she's chilling on the Elma, but still, they're not exactly friends. The clash of metal on metal echoes through the empty corridor like a piece of meticulously composed music. Every thrust of Igla's blade is graceful and dazzling, as though she's dancing a waltz rather than fighting for her life. Her rapier traces perfect arcs through the air, though her movements are filled with flourishes. Each strike is measured to the millimeter, leaving no opening at all. Voimacina answers with steady, precise blocks. The twin blades in her hands become extensions of her body, every motion stripped of excess, just like her personality. The battle between two top-tier technical dolls has long surpassed the boundaries of ordinary combat, resembling an intense performance instead. I must admit, your fighting style is impressive. Igla's voice remains mild and velvety, yet every word carries a razor-sharp killing intent. She speaks even as she threads her attacks through nearly impossible angles, the rapier seeming almost alive as it hunts for the tiniest gap in Voimacina's defense. So plain, yet exquisitely precise. truly a pleasure to behold. Even in battle, I can't help but offer my sincerest respect. Her high heels strike the floor in an elegant rhythm, each step part of a dance, each step carrying a lethal threat. Voimosina does not respond, all of her attention focused on the fight. Her body is already covered in wounds, her combat suit slashed open in several places, exposing synthetic components beneath and the seep of biometric blood. Biomimetic. Even so, her movements remain precise and efficient, without the slightest hesitation or retreat. You don't seem to enjoy conversation during battle. What a pity. I had hoped to learn more about the history of Task Force Defy. No sooner does Igla finish speaking than she abruptly accelerates her assault. The rapier leaves after images in the air. Every strike viciously angled at points that are hardest for Voimosina to defend. At the same time, the few remaining marionette dolls behind her join the fray, attempting to break through Voimosina's defenses from the flanks. Her wolf eye flashes, and the next instant, she twists her body in an almost impossible angle, narrowly avoiding Igla's deadliest thrusts. Simultaneously, her long blade sweeps sideways, cleaving a charging marionette doll clean in half. Splendid. Your reflexes truly live up to your reputation. Igla inclines her head slightly in genuine admiration. But I'm afraid time is on my side. Miss Alva's data transfer requires time, and the wear in your frame is already quite severe. As if to validate her words, the long blade in Voimosina's left hand emits an ominous sound of metal fatigue during the next block. Crack. Bang. With a sharp crack, the blade snaps in two. The broken edge spins away and embeds itself deep into the wall. Voimosina glances expressionlessly at the broken weapon in her hand, then casually discards it and grips the remaining blade with both hands. Her stance grows slightly constrained, but her gaze remains as firm as ever, without the slightest hint of retreat. Weapon degradation is often a harbinger of a turning point. Perhaps you should consider a more dignified exit. Igla twirls her blade in a flourish, its cold sheen flashing beneath the lights. Her posture is unhurried, as though she holds complete control over the battle. Of course, I fully understand your duty as a guardian, but sometimes recognizing reality is also a form of wisdom. You're the only one left. Voimosina answers calmly. Her gaze sweeps down the corridor. The marionette dolls under Igla's command have been almost entirely annihilated, leaving only a few that are barely able to move. Ah, taking pride in your accomplishments. It is indeed something to be proud of. Igla smiles faintly, her eyes sharpening further. Please, you've forgotten. You'd find the only one left. The outcome will not change. I will win. And then I will give regards to Miss Alva personally. As for you, you will become just another line of data in the Juror Group's archives. Voimosina eyes Igla. You really are strong. As strong as me. Not stronger. Igla quirks an eyebrow, a flicker of surprise crossing her eyes. That's a rather unusual way to evaluate yourself. When Dr. Shaw first created me, there was no doll in the world stronger than me. We both have terrible personalities. In that, we're the same. Voimosina's words are calm and definitive, not boastful. She's merely stating facts. An interesting observation. Are you implying there's some kind of similarity between us? A trace of wariness flashes in Igla's eyes as she subtly adjusts her stance, preparing for the next exchange. You remind me of myself, so I thought I'd offer you a bit of advice. Voimosina lifts a hand to her head and rolls her neck. If losing the title of the strongest doll leaves you with nothing. Before she gets to the end of the sentence, Voimosina suddenly drops low to evade Igla's thrust at an unbelievable angle. The cold glint of her rapier skims just above her head, severing a few strands of her hair. Then you are nothing at all. An insightful take. But I'm afraid you overlooked something crucial. Igla's voice remains calm, but an icy edge creeps into her tone. Her movements suddenly accelerate. The rapier transforms into a curtail curtain of silver light that assaults Voimsina from every direction. My reason for existence goes far beyond strength. It lies in my unshakable loyalty to the young mistress. That is something you will never understand. Voimsina strains to block the relentless barrage. Fine cracks spread along her remaining blade. Her movements begin to slow slightly, yet her eyes remain keen as ever. Bang! At that moment, a burst of precise gunfire rings out from the far end of the corner. The bullets travel along nearly impossible trajectories through the complex environment, aimed straight at Igla's vitals. And Igla reacts instantly. Her rapier arcs flawlessly through the air, knocking the bolts aside with ringing clangs, except for one. A single round pierces her shoulder, punching a hole through her pristine suit. Igla's movements falter for an instant. Disbelief flashes across her eyes before hardening into icy fury. Such precise shooting. How very unexpected. Voimsina, go around. Alva's voice rings out from the end of the corridor, clear and resolute. She stands at a perfect firing position, posture steady, muzzle trained directly on Igla. Without the slightest hesitation, Voimsina turns and sprints down the corridor at extraordinary speed. I'm afraid I can't allow that. Igla's about to give chase when she notices Alva's muzzle dip slightly, revealing several small devices on the ground, blinking with red light. Now. Grenades! Take cover. A chain of explosions erupt, instantly turning the corridor into an inferno. Smoke, debris, and shattered concrete surge from all sides, engulfing Igla in the ruins. How very rude. From within the dust comes Igla's cold, restrained voice. With a thunderous crash, piled-up rubble is hurled aside by immense force, and her figure slowly emerges. Her suit is coated in dust, her flawless hair slightly disheveled, yet her posture remains immaculate, her murderous gaze sharper than ever. However, when the smoke finally clears, Alva and Voimsina are already gone, vanished around the bend of the corridor. Such perfect coordination. Truly awe-inspiring. Igla calmly dusts off her suit and straightens her cuffs. Her movements are unhurried, as though the explosion moments ago was nothing more than a trivial mishap. She touches the communicator in her ear, her voice cold and compound. All security units, enter full alert immediately. The retreating targets are extremely dangerous. Do not allow them to escape. I want this entire building under my surveillance. She smooths the wrinkles from her suit, her gaze sharpening like a blade. I will have this resolved completely before the young mistress's dinner time. The Punisher portrait, a flare of light that cuts through the sky. Voimsina is the strongest doll in the world. Based on the preview they released from like a random video, Voimsina gets a huge ass like tank to put a full suit tank. Miracles and the work of mortal hands, homunculus. In a luxurious suite, Zimmerman stands before the full-height window, looking down at the nightscape of Lviv. His fingers drum the window frame lightly, his eyes flashing with apparent anxiety. After a moment's hesitation, he walks over to the sofa and sits down, then produces a specially modified encrypted communicator from his inner pocket. He enters a long, complex password and dials a number. The call connects almost immediately. Miss Chilvig, care to explain your actions? Oh, legislator. Which part are you referring to? Chilvig's teasing voice comes through the communicator, light and buoyant, as if she's letting him in on some inside joke. I suggest you stop wasting both our times. I'm not in nearly a good mood as you seem to think. Don't be so snappy, legislator. I was only trying to help. Her drawl is playful, yet carries a profound, pointed undercurrent. Help? By help, you mean pulling one of the mission's targets out of the research institution just when people are preparing to move? You knew perfectly well that compared to killing a disobedient Exilium, the third gen doll was the far more important objective. The line suddenly goes quiet. Only Chilvig's faint breathing can be heard. You were the one who approached me in the first place, asking me to invest in Project Eden. I assumed we were in a close cooperative relationship. And this is how you're paying me? So, was this mission a success? What? Of course it failed. Who do you think that is? Whose fault? Meaning Orphelion is still alive. Zimmerman is suddenly at a loss for words. From the other end comes an intentionally exaggerated peal of laughter. Even without that third-gen doll assistant president, you still couldn't eliminate a pampered young girl whose hands have only ever touched lab equipment? Chilvig's voice suddenly turned sharp, like a blade scraping across glass. If Igla had been there, wouldn't he have slaughtered your people like dogs? Ooh, that was intense. Wouldn't she have slaughtered your people like dogs? Yep. And you still have the nerve to ask me why I sent the third gen doll away? Are you an idiot? Superman is left speechless by the barrage of insults. After venting her anger, Chilvig smoothly slips back into her usual teasing tone. The time I brought for you wasn't meant to be wasted like this, you know. Dear legislator, instead of lashing out at me, maybe you should hurry up and investigate why the assassination failed despite sending your most capable subordinates. Chilvig's voice suddenly drops to a soft whisper, which sounds more menacing than any shout. You mean... Legislator, Gerard's ship is about to sink. That's why we came to you in the first place. But perhaps you've misunderstood something. You're not investing in us. We chose to invest in you. Continue the investment. I do hope your performance proves worthy of our trust. Otherwise, you know how fickle I can be. The call cuts off abruptly, leaving only a burst of harsh static. Zimmerman stares at the communicator, his expression unreadable. He takes a deep breath, slips it back into his inner pocket, and sinks into thought. With ample personnel and combat resources, attacking a research institute located in the White Zone should have been effortless. So why did the mission still fail? Could someone have been obstructing his actions all along? Knock, knock. A firm knock at the door interrupts Zimmerman's thoughts. Without waiting for a response, the door opens on its own. A tall man in military uniform strides inside. Zimmerman's about to erupt, but when he recognizes the man, he swallows his anger at once and puts on the flawless professional smile from his campaign posters. Legislator, apologize for coming without an appointment. The soldier's tone was level, detached, devoid of any real apology, more statement of fact. I thought you were accompanying the deputy minister at an event. The deputy minister sent me. She asked me to remind you, legislator. Your time is running short. Though the Gerard group is already on its last legs, it still holds the capital for a final gamble. If tomorrow's experiment proceeds smoothly, Project Eden will restore their global influence to its peak. Legislator, you're a smart man. With the URNC and across the entire military system, you've earned many supporters. But if checked fabbing can't produce some convincing results soon, those above might reconsider the cooperation. Please be careful. Be prepared for that. Understood. Superman finally mutters a reply, the confidence in his voice clearly replaced by distress. I will personally deliver that third-gen doll into your hands by the end of the day. The officer nods and turns to leave the room without another word. Once the door closes, Zimmerman's smile vanishes instantly, his face twisting in a grotesque expression. He snatches up a nearby wine glass and hurls it violently against the wall. Chilvig answers the call and looks at the small figure beside her. Oh my. You're finally back, my little flower.
我的小花。
No! No! Helena trembles uncontrollably. She stares wide-eyed at the woman before her. She tries to make the floating
可爱的小花。
floating spheres protect her, but they aren't responding at all. My lovely little flower. Did you forget who gave them to you?
你忘了这个东西。
Chilvig produces a button and presses it lightly. The spheres immediately dim and drop lifelessly to the ground. Even though Miss Snowwolf managed to outplay me, I still have my own cards, trump cards. Thanks to it, I was able to find you. Helena's voice is barely a whisper, but Chilvig can still make out the words. Someone will come save me. Who? Those two dolls? Obviously the commander. Chilvig bursts into laughter. They abandoned you all alone in that filthy sewer for the sake of their own plan. And you still trust them? That's hilarious. If they cared about you even a little more, I wouldn't have been able to catch you at all. Also, they've thoroughly enraged that third-gen doll. I bet they're getting beaten to a pulp right about now. Alright, my dear. Let's not dwell on such unpleasant things. Come now. The reason you exist in this world is about to appear. Let's hurry and get everything ready. Faced with this absurd and bizarre woman, Helena's body continues to shake uncontrollably. But her fear doesn't last long, because her consciousness soon succumbs to darkness. That is the end. Alrighty then. Doop-a-doo, doop-a-doo. That is the end.
依照相关条例，你被捕了。聆听着千军万马，请下命令。
Part 2. When did part 2 come out? In like 5 days. So I'll probably try and read it on next Friday or Saturday.
我想要帮助大家。聆听着千军万马之誓吧。聆听着千军万马之誓吧。顺利完成任务，嫌犯以悉数待退。
Let's see. Four days, 11 hours. Yep, so... Yep, about 5 days. Corposant. Part 2. Out in 5 days. If I'm good, I'll read it quickly this next weekend. If I'm bad, it'll be in like 2 weeks. Alright, what's missing? One mission there. That's probably it, I guess. Combat start. Ready for a nap. Or maybe just I need to stretch my legs. Oh, that feels good. That feels really good.
依照相关条例，你被捕了。憎恨违约，立地成变。聆听着千军万马之誓吧。 我想要帮助大家，不躲开吗？就算会受伤，接受制裁。聆听这千军万马之誓吧。依照相关条例，你被捕了。真和违约，立地成兵。真和违约，立地成兵。意料之中的胜利。
Give me this, claim. Alright. Is that 100%? It is. Okay, cool. Part 1, 1.5 done. And I'm slightly ahead of the curve. Half the time I'm not even done with part 1 before part 2 comes out. It takes so long normally. Alright. Other tactical fight also comes out probably the same time. It does. Give me all the things. Special gift Alva. I do have her. Give me that. Mm-hmm.